Hey guys, welcome to our weekly AMA. We got a couple different communities here today with us. We got everyone from MSS. We've got, of course, the book community. I've also shared this with the bomb community, and we've obviously got some herd members here. So welcome everyone. We got a really exciting presentation for you guys all today. So
Hey guys, happy to be here, and I'm glad we can finally talk about the surprise we got for you all day. Because man, I was nervous keeping this a secret.
yeah, it's a real banger, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So I guess before I get into anything else, I do want to just go over a couple things, and then I'm going to get right into what we're launching today and what the exact launch plan is going to be. So first, I just wanted to address the MSS community. I just want to let you guys know that, you know, and this is separate from what the main purpose of this AMA is. I just, really want to, address the MSS community. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys, so directly on a stream. So I just want to let you guys know that, I know in the past that I said that I'd never be willing to build anything for MSS again. I was partly pressured to make that decision with some partners I was working with before, but now that they're no longer an influence, just letting you guys know that I would be potentially open to building something for MSS in the future. So just letting you guys know that. But now the fun part of how that kind of ties into what we're talking about today is I know a lot of guys in MSS have asked for, an MSS 2.0. Now, what we have to show you guys today is definitely not an MSS 2.0, but it's got a lot of the same great qualities. It's a very different protocol. It's not an MSS 2.0, but I think a lot of the potential and the opportunity is similar in a way to like getting into MSS on day one. And yeah, can't wait to share this with you guys. So yeah, moving forward, book community. Just want to say to you guys, we're fighters. We're not going to let anything get us down. And, we've already bounced up over 2x off the low. And, I think with what we got to present to you guys today and, how this new protocol is deeply integrated with book, it's going to be beyond bullish for the price of book. And, I have no question in my mind book's going to be getting to all-time highs in the near future. So, and as well, just while we're talking about book, book USD, it really demonstrated its resilience, right? Like in the last couple of weeks, we saw huge volatility in the price of book. Book USD, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Everything worked exactly as planned, and it's the protocol definitely works, and we know how well book USD works when the price of book is appreciating. Right, it really gets the loans going. It gets, it really just gets everything in book USD going. So, what we have to show you guys today is definitely going to have a huge direct impact on the price of book, and that combined with book USD is just going to be unbelievably bullish for the price of book. So, I guess with that we can start to get into it. Oh. See, we got a big buy on book apparently. Let's go. Smart buyers. All right. I'm so pumped about this. It's trying to figure out exactly how to get this across. But all right, let's get right into it. So let me first actually just outline how I'm going to structure this AMA and like how the launch is going to get structured. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys an overview of the protocol, somewhat brief, just to kind of let you guys know exactly what it is, what's going on. Then I'm going to create the LP, and you guys can start trading. And then I'm going to get into a lot more details about the protocol and how deeply it involves book and all the interactions between the two protocols. And yeah, so that's pretty much how it's going to go. So if, and something else as well. So I'm not going to get into like all the details before the trading goes live. But the documentation on the site is quite thorough. So if anybody wants to skip ahead and, once I drop the site and what it's about, if you guys want to jump into the docs and read ahead and just, it should be super thorough to give you guys everything that you could want to know. So let's get into it. So first I'll say, I'm a little bit surprised that, I only had Peter guess, what the protocol was. I thought more people would guess it because I did drop quite a few hints. Probably the biggest hint that I dropped was that I've talked about it in the past. So in the MSS Telegram, a couple times I'd mentioned that I really like Olympus DAO forks. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I got an Olympus DAO fork that is deeply with our own degen twists on it. That's deeply integrated with Book, and for anyone that's familiar with what Time Wonderland did in the last bull cycle in 2021, they actually, let me just share my screen here. Nick, I got a bunch of feedback coming from your mic. If you could just mute until you're talking. Yeah, thank you. So this is what Time did when they launched. They went up to over 2 billion market cap. They were, it was right in the peak of a bull cycle. So, that's something that we're looking to repeat here. They went up to over $10,000 a token. They had a super, super strong first couple months of their launch. And, what we've done is I put a couple different twists on it to make it more fun, more engaging, more sustainable. So we've got a bunch of twists. And of course, like I keep mentioning, the deep integration with Book and Book USD that I'm going to get into a bit later. But here it is, boys and girls. We got Blue Protocol on BNB chain. We've got this tuned and this is ready to go. So what we're doing is we're doing like a phased launch with this. This is a very stealth launch. Nobody knew about Blue until right now, except for a handful of people. So basically, we're going to be creating the LP. You guys are going to get first access to this, and we're going to start. For one, it's a phased rollout. So this is the most basic version of the site and the feature set. You've only got the ability to buy Blue and to stake Blue and start earning your rebases. But there's a bunch more features that are already built that I left out just because. I'll explain some of the reasons why I left them out at first or a bit later. But we're just keeping the site super simple right now, just the core stuff that you need. And we got some big features coming in the next, we'll be announcing those in the very near future when those additional features are coming. So as you guys can see here, next, the first rebase staking is going to start in under 2 hours. So, and again, like I mentioned, the docs are here. So you're able to go ahead and you can read all about the launch, sustainability, tokenomics, staking, the Book integration. So you guys could go ahead and read ahead if you guys want. Let me actually drop the link to the site into the YouTube comments and X comments. So we got a comment here. What about our present Book tokens? So I'm going to explain exactly how this ties in with Book. It's going to blow your mind how this is tied in with Book, but I'm going to leave that for after I add the liquidity, just because I want to get the trading pair going as soon as possible, and then we can get into all the details. So I think that's a pretty good overview, and I think I can, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about all the details of, what twists we put on this and the sustainability and, especially how this ties in with Book. Actually, I guess I'll give you that super quick before I add the liquidity. I'll go into a lot more detail about it after. But essentially, Book is serving as a reserve asset for Blue Protocol. And Blue Protocol is going to build up numerous LPs that are going to serve as its reserve liquidity assets, right? So a liquidity asset for Blue, it can be either a token or it can be a liquidity pair, and specifically a V2 liquidity pair. So one of our initial LPs is going to be Book Blue, like Blue Book. And that pair is one of the two that I'm going to create right now, actually. And that's going to be a huge part of Blue's liquidity, is going to be a Blue Book liquidity pair. And that's going to serve as a reserve asset for Blue. And on top of that, one of the features that we're going to be releasing in the near future is going to require users to have Blue Book LPs. So just think about that for a second, right? So if people need Blue Book LPs, they need to buy Blue, they need to buy Book. But Blue's going to have a bunch of its liquidity with Book. So essentially, whenever anybody's entering into that LP, a big percentage of those inflows directly go to buying Book. And I'll save the craziest integration with Book for after we add the liquidity. But that's just a brief example. That's just a brief overview of how Book is going to tie in with Blue. I'll, again, more about that coming later. So I'm going to add the LP right now. So just so you guys can be prepared, basically you could hit the buy blue page. That's going to give you an open pancake swap link, which is going to have the token preloaded in there. And yeah. So, and as well, if you guys want to join the Telegram, we got the buy bots already set up. We got Deck Screener already paid already. So we've got everything set up in advance for you guys. And yeah, let's get this going. To join the Telegram, we got a link in the docs right here, and there's also a link in the footer. So if you guys can just give me a moment, I'll add those LPs right now. So again, actually real quick before I do that. So again, if you guys need the buy blue page has all the information that you guys need. So there's the contract address there, and a link again that opens Pancake Swap that's got the token already preloaded in there. Oh, actually, I guess I should. There's a couple of details I actually forgot to tell you guys. So we're launching at a $5 price. So the way that I've structured this is I'd love to mimic what Time's been able to accomplish in the past with their run to $10,000 a token. So I've kind of structured the tokenomics and the initial launch and the initial price kind of based around a little bit of a more limited supply, but a higher starting price so that we can hit those crazy price levels. So figured that was probably important to let you guys know. All right, well, I'm about to add the liquidity. So right now we're only gonna have about $10,000 in the book blue pair. I've got to just go to another wallet to get a bunch more book to put the rest of that in. But all right, so we got that all set up. So let's see when this Deck Screener chart starts working. Not yet.
Book is absolutely pumping.
What's that? Book's pumping? Yeah, I mean it makes sense, right? I mean, if blue has any kind of success whatsoever, it's gonna absolutely make book go parabolic, right? Like, if blue does 10% what Time Wonderland was able to do, book is 50 cents or $1, right? Like and I haven't even told you guys about all the different integrations, but all right. Well, it looks like some buys are rolling in. Hope you guys all get a chance to hit the website or hit the Telegram. Sorry. Okay, everything's looking smooth. When launch blue token? It's launched right now. So we started at $5 and got a little bit of action already. So remember, guys, this is a stealth launch, right? This is something where we're going to be spreading the word after the AMA. So this is your chance to get in early. A lot of people wish that they would have been able to get an MSS right when it launched. This is your chance right now to get into not an MSS 2.0, but a similar type project at right at the very, very beginning. And we're gonna be pouring the marketing onto this. It's really been designed to be super simple, super easy to promote. We got a super fun character, Bluey the whale, the blue whale for the blue protocol. Super simple name. So it's we think that this really has all the ingredients of being a huge winning protocol. I'm gonna throw the contract address into a couple places right now, real quick. I got some people asking about it. Give me 1 sec. Just throwing this info into some telegrams. All right. Put the telegram in the chat. All right, I can do that. So again, the website is bluebnb.xyz, and that's pretty much what everything is. So like the telegram's t.me/bluebnbxyz. The website's bluebnb.xyz. We got a question about slippage. I mean, it's really just, there's a lot of people buying right now. So if you want to make sure your trade goes through, you might want to just set your, and there's no tax on the token. So if that's what you're asking, you don't need to account for that, but you might just need to put your price impact or your slippage a bit higher just to make sure your trade goes through if a lot of people are buying all at the same time. Yep, so got a comment 5% worked fine. All right, actually, if you guys just want to have fun with that for a minute, I'm just actually going to add a bit more liquidity to the Book Blue LP. I just need to transfer some tokens real quick. So I did deploy this from a different wallet because I didn't want people to kind of see exactly what was coming. So I'm going to be transferring all the ownership. This is an Olympus DAO fork, so it's it's something that I have a lot of experience with. I've worked with Olympus DAO forks before on Bomb Chain. We had Bohm Money, which had a lot of success, and we and again, first, actually, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but this has been thoroughly tested. This was on testnet, and a couple of us were doing every single thing you can do in the protocol, including some of the features that are coming in the future. So not only is it battle tested code, but this actual implementation has been very thoroughly tested as well. So not to put you on the spot, Nick, but if you want to entertain while I just spend a no, I'm just kidding.
I'll do my best, bro. I'm just looking at all the buys coming in, man. It's absolutely crazy. We're well over $6.
Yeah, I just got it. I'm gonna take this 2 million book I got on the deployer, and I'm gonna put that into the liquidity. Okay. Yeah, just give me 30 seconds, guys.
The book is really.
What's that?
People seems to get the message. Book is already at 160.
That's the beauty of having the two things paired together, right? When Blue does well, Book's going to do well, and we've got a super strong strategy for the short term and the long term, in terms of how do we make sure that Blue has the best chance for success while helping not really helping Book. They kind of work together.
Yeah.
They both kind of complement each other, right? Book and Blue. So someone that just wants to get involved in a super hot, awesome DeFi protocol on BNB chain, they don't even need to know that Book exists. They can just jump right into Blue, right?
Yep.
But every dollar that goes into Blue is going to help Book because of the LPs. And but yeah, I mean, for the Book community, there's so many tie-ins with Blue as well. But let me stop talking for a second and and add this liquidity.
Yep, we're well over $7.
All right, getting this LP in. Give me one sec. So the liquidity is pretty thick here. I'm going to be migrating the V3 LP. That's the big one that was just launched. That's going to be moved into V2 LPs that can be used as treasury reserves. So we should see more price fluctuations after some of that migration happens. All right, getting this LP in. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's take a look. All right, let's see the other pair. Nice. Oh, it's not getting US dollar values for some reason, but that's okay, I guess. All right, that'll probably fix itself. But yeah, as you guys can see, we've already got the deck screener stuff all set up. So I'm just going to switch back to the other chart just because this one does not show US dollar values for some reason. All right. I'm going to answer some questions I see in the chat, and then I'll get into all the details about Blue and the tie-ins with Book. So we got a question here: is stake live on Blue? Yep, staking, you can stake. So the way, let me just talk about that real quick. So the way that that works is you basically have blue tokens. And when you stake your blue tokens, like it says here, you're basically exchanging your blue for S blue. S blue is staked blue. So essentially, your staked blue is what is it like? It's like a rebasing token, right? And we got a calculator on the homepage just to kind of show you how that works. Oh, nice, and our chart's working here, and our price is loading here. Beauty. So, for example, well, I guess that's not actually too helpful to explain what I was going to talk about, but essentially when you stake your blue, you get S blue, and the amount of S blue that you have is going to go up every 4 hours. Auto compounding, you get to enjoy compound interest. I know that this 50,000% looks crazy high, but that's over the course of an entire year, right? So we basically fine tune the numbers to arrive at that 50,000% APY. So for comparison, Time Wonderland had more like a 72 or 80,000% APY, somewhere in there. So what they did, well, let me start with what we're doing. We got 0.286% rebase gain per every 4 hours. That works out to 1.71% per day. Hold on, somebody needs the link to buy blue. Well, just remember, you can always go press the buy blue button on the homepage, and then that'll open it right up. But I'll post the link in here for you. So basically, you're gaining 1.71% per day with automatic rebases, with 6 rebases per day of 0.286%. So what Time Wonderland did in comparison, and I think that's a great model to look at just because of how much success that they had. They did 0.6% 3 times a day. So they were rebasing, not as often as us, but it was a bit of a higher rebase. So I think ours is it's a lower APY, but I think having way more frequent rebases is a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun, and that's kind of how we arrived at that. The staking index, it's actually going to be part of a feature that we're releasing in the future. But basically, what this is going to track is like how much, if you stake 1 blue before launch, like right now, and you don't unstake it, this is going to show like how much that 1 blue turns into, right? So like after 1 day, it should say like 1.017, right? Like if you go here and put like 1 blue for 1 day, I guess this is rounding, but yeah, you guys know what I mean. Yeah, so I mean for like 100 blue, this is what you'd have after 1 day, and that's what the staking index would show. It would show 1.017. So that's just a good way to track like how the rewards are progressing over time. I got a question here. So we stake blue, not blue book LP. So you stake blue. You stake blue. That's how you earn the rebases. So basically, you stake blue, you get S blue. You don't do anything with the S blue, right? So your S blue, you have to be holding the S blue to get your rebases. That's pretty much what S blue does. And again, we have another feature coming in the future that kind of gives you a lot more flexibility with your S blue, so that you can kind of earn rebases and do other things. But I'm going to save that announcement for the future. So in terms of the blue book LP, and again, I'm not going to go too much into detail about this, other than it's going to be a huge part of the blue protocol treasury reserves. In the future, I guess I'll just say it. You're going to be able to get discounted blue in exchange for blue book LP. So it's actually it's a great time to have some blue book LP. I don't know anything about blue. Is it a new currency? Yeah, we're an Olympus DAO fork, and you can, if you want to just read the docs, I've kind of already gone over what it is, but the docs is very thorough. So I'd suggest just reading through there if you're got any confusion about anything. But yeah, so something else that's cool about the protocol is that you could actually set up your book blue LP and still receive rebase rewards. And the way that works is essentially like I can set on the distributor contract that basically handles the rewards. I can set any V2 LPs that I want to ensure get blue rebases. So basically every time an epoch happens, it's going to send blue to that blue LP so that basically you benefit from the rebases. So essentially, I actually haven't added that LP to the distributor contract yet, but I'm going to do that before the first rebase happens. So just so you guys, if in case anybody wants to, you could, because we don't know what the price of blue or book is going to do. They could be, I think they will be astronomically higher by the time that we release bonding in a couple of days. So I guess I just kind of dropped the bomb. I kind of just mentioned the feature.
You dropped it, bro. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So we got bonding coming in the future where you're going to be able to get discounted blue, and there's going to be a bunch of different choices for how you get that. But one of the big ones is going to be blue and book LP. So let me get to some of these other questions real quick. I can't find blue coin on CoinCap. Yeah, it's a stealth launch, and we just launched right now. You'll be able to find it soon enough. For now, all the information's in the docs, and we can unstake anytime. Yep, nothing's locked here. And again, so I've part of what I prioritized with this protocol is simplicity and self-explanatory nature of the design, right? So, we want to take this to $10,000 a token, like Time Wonderland, right? We want to take this to, again, let's take a look, 2 billion market cap, right? Let's make it happen. It's going to bring book along with it. Where was I going with that? Just lost my train of thought. What was I just talking about, Nick? On staking anytime? No, I don't know. It'll come back to me. Oh yeah. I was talking about the website. We want to get to billions in market cap with Blue. So I spent some time making the docs super thorough. So and as well as some of the pages, right? So like the staking page, you can see your balances. You can it's got information. It's got a simple explainer, and again, we've also got the docs that are super thorough. So let's see what other comments we got. What's the role of book in this? I've already kind of explained a bit of that, but I'm going to get into that more in a minute. Arborist, what's up, buddy? The docs are clean, very self-explanatory. Yep. What I'd appreciate from you guys if you guys could check out the docs, and if you guys have any questions that are not answered in the docs, I really want to improve the docs to make sure they answer any question that anybody could ever have. So definitely drop any questions into the Telegram or let us know if there's anything that's missing from the docs. So bought my Blue and staked them. Now learning the protocols next. Yes, sir. Awesome. All right. So let's get into the involvement of book. Let me see if I missed anything else. So I guess I'll go over some of the stuff I already mentioned, and then I'll get into some of the other ways that book is involved. So again, Blue protocol, it has a treasury with reserve assets, and it can have reserve tokens and reserve liquidity positions. So it already has book as a reserve asset, and book Blue LP is going to be a huge part of its reserves in terms of like using a liquidity token or liquidity pair for its reserve assets. So I'm going to be targeting 50% of Blue's liquidity being with book early on. It's not going to be like that right now, but I'm going to be moving things around, and that's going to be the target. So for Blue to acquire all that liquidity, it's going to take a lot of book, and that book's going to have to get bought on the open market. So just Blue getting that liquidity going is going to be a tremendous boost to book. And then, of course, with that big liquidity, as Blue continues to excel and appreciate, it's going to bring book up with it due to that pairing. And book really makes a great token for this because, as you guys know, we've always been focused on big liquidity with book. Book has huge liquidity. It's all 100% locked. And, we feel that book has a great outlook in terms of its potential price appreciation over time. So for those two reasons, book makes a great reserve asset for Blue, and book Blue LP is a great reserve pairing for the protocol as well. So again, something I mentioned earlier, but Blue is a standalone protocol. So this is meant for the masses. This is meant for anybody and everybody that just wants to take advantage of this crazy alt season that we're entering right now. This is the time to get into Blue. This protocol. I think it's going to do huge things. And in turn, of course, that's going to help. That's going to make Book do insane things at the same time. And yeah, and again, in a couple days' time, once the price sorry, I can't talk. Too excited. once the price stabilizes a little bit, we're going to be introducing bonding. I'll talk more about that in the future. But what you can do to be ready in advance is you can prepare Book Blue LPs, V2 LPs, and we will have links that will get you directly there, so that you don't have to kind of fumble around in PancakeSwap. And we'll have that ready for you guys in the near future. And so here's the amazing part, guys. All right, you guys aren't ready for this. So Bud is also going to be a reserve asset for the Blue protocol. Now, firstly, with Bud, we know that when there's demand on Bud, it puts demand on Book indirectly, because when the price of Bud spikes, it starts to make more and more sense to use Book to borrow Bud to sell it for that overpeg price. So any additional demand on Bud is very bullish for Book. And basically, having Bud as a reserve asset unlocks some really cool things that we can do with the treasury. So not only for one, we know that Bud is super resilient. With everything that's happened with Book USD over the last couple of weeks, Bud maintained its peg. It never dropped, below say 96 cents for any extended period of time. So it makes for a great reserve asset. And the most exciting part about that is, are you guys ready for this? It's the Book USD stability pool. Now, there is an allocator contract that ties in with the Blue protocol treasury that can automatically and programmatically, systematically allocate Bud reserves in the treasury to Book USD in the stability pool to be able to take advantage of that huge APR. And the integration it's a really tight integration. So Olympus DAO actually had this integration with Liquidity V1. So this is not new code. I'm not, reinventing the wheel here. I'm literally taking their allocator for Liquidity V1, where they used LUSD as a reserve and also earned on it. We're going to be doing that exact same thing with Bud, but with Book USD. So not only are we going to have Bud as a reserve asset, which is going to put demand on Book indirectly, but we're also going to have the treasury able to earn on its Bud directly in Book USD. And because the integration is so tight, it actually still lets the treasury count that Bud as part of its reserves, because it's all tied in and tightly integrated. So, it's basically that's kind of what ties everything together with Book and Blue, is just, again, it's the ability to leverage Book's big liquidity and leverage Book's, price appreciation that we all expect to happen. Those things make it a great reserve asset. The tie-in with Book USD and using Bud as a stability or as a reserve asset and being able to earn on it automatically, systematically through the treasury, that's the tight integration. So, I know I'm crazy pumped about how that all works together and how complementary Blue and Book are together, right? They're both going to be absolute animals, especially when they're both really ripping. Let me get through some of these questions. Yep. Everything that you guys could want to know is most likely in the documentation. If it's not there, I'd like to know about it though, so that I can add it there. Can you elaborate on the marketing strategy you guys will implement? It seems like we just keep going from one product to the next, to the next, to the next, and so on. Thanks in advance for your answer. Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. We launched Book in January, and we launched Book USD to complement Book, and we haven't really launched anything other than that. So, and this is also similar to being complementary to Book, right? So you could say that this is the next extension of the Book ecosystem, right? This is a bit more standalone, right? So Book USD like Book is at the center of Book USD. Book USD is nothing without Book. Blue isn't quite that tied in with Book, but it's still very tightly integrated, but it is also its own standalone project, but it's still definitely part of the Book ecosystem. So we're not really going from project to project unless I'm missing something there. Will you be able to do one-sided LP for Blue Book LP? No, it's a V2 LP, so it's going to require equal positions of both. But we can definitely have a Zap contract ready to go so that you can just take either Book or Blue and then Zap into it. Any plans to incorporate MSS in any way? I mean, I think just this is the opportunity where you can, this is almost a little bit remotely similar to MSS. So I think this is the opportunity that you could get into something like MSS right on at the very, very beginning. I can't integrate things just because people want to see it integrated. I have to do what makes sense for the protocols to give the protocols the highest chance of success long term. And MSS doesn't really make for a great reserve asset due to its inflation. So I think we made the right choice. I'm having Book integrated. So, but like I said at the very beginning of the AMA, I'm still willing to, if you guys want to see like a MSS garden or whatever that was being discussed before, I'm definitely fully open to building that out for MSS for you guys. MSS still going? Yep, it never stopped. I trust I will eventually understand all these moving parts you speak of. Yeah, I mean, we'll be around to keep talking about it. What affects epoch payments, or is it set to stay the same? So we can. So right now, like I have control over those parameters. Olympus DAO is set up very, very properly, where like there's access control, and I can, switch things to a time lock and governance and voting. Like all that stuff is possible. So the plan is to move it to a more decentralized, type setup with time locks and everything. But just for now, while we're getting all the different reserve tokens set up and everything, for right now, I have full control over the treasury and the parameters. But definitely, I think it's going to make sense to lower the APY in the future, for sure. But I've committed in the docs. It mentions that it's not going to be touched for 3 months guaranteed. We won't touch the APY. So probably maybe longer. We'll see how things are going. But you guys can rest assured that this 0.286% per 4 hours is not going to change anytime soon. All right. Well, I think that was the majority of what I wanted to get across today. Bullish as F, definitely. I couldn't sleep last night. This is it's too exciting, right? Just the tie-in. I just think this is the right project at the right time. I think it's the stealth launch gave us a lot of excitement, and we've barely scratched the surface on getting the word. We have not gotten the word out whatsoever. Only the people on this stream right now know about Blue. So you're still getting in at under $10 right now, which is wild. We're gonna try and do a Time Wonderland repeat and get this to $2 billion market cap, and book is a couple bucks when that happens easily. So they both super complement each other. I understand not financial advice. If all my funds are in Book, do I sit still or should I sell for Blue? Just curious your opinion. It's a good question, right? Like I think that depends on like what your personal preference is. I think I know Book is going to benefit tremendously from Blue. So I think obviously Book doesn't have inflation, so it depends on what you like, right? Like I think Blue is perhaps more risky, but has probably more short-term potential. But I think that they're both going to do super insanely well over the next couple months. So I think it really just comes down to what you prefer. What can we do with S Blue rewards? So basically you stake Blue and you earn Blue, right? So if you put in, for example, if you stake 100 Blue, after 30 days, you'd have 167 Blue. So basically what you need to do, basically it's auto compounding, right? So once you stake your tokens, you don't have to do anything. It's going to compound every 4 hours for you until you're ready to withdraw it. And when you withdraw it, you can just take as much or as little out as you want, right? So in this example on the screen, if you have 100 blue staked, after 30 days, you'd have 167. So at that point, you could withdraw 67 and cash that out and keep your original 100 in there. You could take out the whole 167. You could, there's full flexibility to do whatever you want. There's no time locks on anything, or no locks of any sort. Sounds like we're about to moon. I certainly think so. Bullish. Trey John says, what is the token count for blue? So through the treasury, the initial mint that I did was 100,000. So 50,000 went directly into that blue BNB LP, and the other 50,000 I have on the side. I've already added, I think, about 5,000 of that into the blue book LP, and I'm going to be using the rest of those tokens to basically pair to create all the other liquidity positions that I'm going to be creating for blue. What would you say are the key differences and advantages of this over Time Wonderland? I think Time Wonderland had an amazing run, so there's not too much that's like drastically different. Obviously we changed the rebase timing to make it a bit more exciting. We toned down the epoch rewards to make it a little bit more sustainable. I think, we're on BNB chain. BNB chain is super popular right now. It's tons of volume. USD1 is another reserve asset that I'm looking at probably using, because products that are using USD1 are getting a lot of attention. So that's something that we're going to be exploring. But I think it's really also the timing, right? There was other Olympus DAO forks around when Time Wonderland came out, but we essentially I don't know of any other Olympus DAO forks. So I think that this is a bit of a unique thing right as the markets are really about to take off, and I think it's the timing of everything is great. I kind of already answered this. Can we fold S Blue rewards back into stake? So your S Blue just grows automatically. You don't need to do anything, right? So like, for example, you gain 0.286% every epoch, right? So whatever blue you have staked, when you stake blue, it turns into S Blue. Actually, I'll demonstrate this for you guys real quick. Let's stake 100 blue. So you guys can see here, I have got 700 blue and 0 S Blue. So now I can stake the blue. Hold your book and buy blue with fresh capital. Yep, great advice. Okay, so that's done. Let me just refresh that. Okay, so now you guys can see I've got 100 S Blue. So nothing changed here, right? So like, I still have the same total count of tokens, but the difference is that these S Blue are going to get rebase rewards and my blue is not, right? But Daniel, founder of Time, made some big mistakes. Do you see the potential of blue lasting longer and avoiding such errors? What do you see those missteps as? Yeah, well, I mean, I think that their reward output was too high, and that's why we've started with the lower emissions. And I think we're going to be more willing to tone down those emissions over time. And also, we're going to be putting our treasury reserves to work as best we can to be generating yield from those treasury reserves. So that's the big tie-in with Bud from Book USD protocol, is that we can earn, I don't know what it is right now, 300-400% APR off that Bud automatically with a deep integration to the protocol. I'll miss this one. Big problem, sir, is how are we going to sleep now? Too bullish. Yeah, I already had that problem. I could barely. I was talking to Nick last night. It was like 5 a.m. I still couldn't fall asleep.
I had to tell him to go to bed. It was getting crazy.
Yeah, I think you told me like 4 times.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean that's as simple as the staking is, right? So like I've put 100. I got 100 S Blue here, so that's just going to tick up every 4 hours. That count is going to go up. So after the first epoch, it's going to be higher. So then the second epoch, I'm going to earn on that higher amount, right? So you're automatically benefiting from compound interest without having to do anything. So I hope that makes sense. My book is increasing. My blue is working. Awesome. Win-win situation. Yep. I mean, that's that was the whole plan here, right? It's like, let's give something super bullish to the community. We all want a big win. This is the protocol. We can all get a huge win, right? This is, again, stealth launch. Nobody knows about this other than the people in this AMA right now. We're going to be really pushing the word after this. So This is just the very, very, very beginning. We got more features coming. This was just a kind of a fun, surprise way to launch the protocol. So lots more to come. Damn, they can't take no more. Slow down, Aaron. You're killing it. Yeah, I mean, I was taking like a week or two to reflect back, after the liquidation event, and I think I built about 3 projects during that time. And once I started working on this, and I started realizing the different ways that this could integrate into Book, I was personally mind blown, and everyone that I showed about this was mind blown. The integrations with Book are incredible. It's an incredible protocol on its own. It's an incredible opportunity. I'm so excited about this. It's such a simple name too. We got a cool, fun whale character. We got Bluey. That's his name. We got a real great artist working on our stickers right now, and we already got some nice emojis going. Why music videos? Oh, as soon as you make them. Let's talk, man. I'll get you some blue in exchange for some videos. Shoot me a message. We can't win without failure. We wouldn't have this opportunity without failure. You know what? It's funny you mentioned that, because as I don't know how to word it. Obviously, I wasn't happy about what happened with the liquidation event, right? But I was actually thinking the exact same thing, that while that was super negative, what happened with that, like, Blue is so incredible. I'm so pumped about what we can do with Blue and what it's going to do for Book. And I don't think we would have got here if we didn't go through that liquidation event. So I think this is actually better for Book than if that never happened. That shows what I personally feel about this protocol, that, despite the hit that was taken 2 weeks ago, I'm more pumped now than I was, right? This is huge. How do you swap the rewards back to our wallets? So I should probably clarify this a bit more on the site, so thanks for mentioning that, but you could just go open Pancake Swap, and then you could just switch it, right? So here it's going like BNB to Blue. You can just reverse it to Blue to BNB. Or if you meant like one step before that, you'd have to unstake, right? So after you earn some rewards or whenever you want, you can just withdraw your S Blue, which is going to give you Blue, and then you just go to Pancake Swap and swap it. Blue over $10 already. Awesome. Yeah, let's take a look at that chart. Let's go. Loot's too soft. When tranquilizers. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much the majority of what I got for you guys. Still got a ton more stuff that I've got to do. I got the X account to set up, and there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to set up, but I couldn't really do it in advance, just because it would have exposed exactly what we were announcing. So I definitely got a lot of stuff I've got to get set up now. But I guess before we conclude, do you guys have any questions about Blue? Or although I'll be in the Telegram for the rest of the day, so I think it's best that you guys probably read through the docs. If we got detailed information about the Book integration, we got detailed information about staking, tokenomics, how Blue is backed, a little bit of information about some features coming up in the future, sustainability, all the launch details, which I've already kind of explained to all you guys. But are you buying Blue, Nick? You're so quiet.
Yeah, I'm buying while I'm on the stream.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys are all as pumped about this as I am. This is I think this is going to be something incredible. We've seen how well MSS did out of the gate, and I think this has a lot more potential than that. It's I don't know, like personally, like, I don't know. I just think that the aspects of this protocol are like, they're what I personally would like as an investor, right? Like, not having any locks, I don't know. I just think that this is a super well structured and built protocol that has insanely high potential. The fact it can earn on the reserves and just everything else it has going. What price do you think Blue could reach? I'd like to say, like, let's try to hit the same levels as Time, right? Like, Time went to $10,000 a token, right? Let's let's have that be the goal, right? But can you explain book blue pair and rewards, or is it not ready? So you can get your pair ready in advance, but there's nothing that you can really do with it yet. So more information on that in the future. But there's going to be a certain part of the protocol that you're going to need book blue V2 LP paired to take advantage of. So definitely you can either set up your pair in advance or just have a bunch of book and blue ready. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to have a lot of book handy for when that feature drops. All right, guys, let's see if any other final questions come in. And then I got a lot of work to do, just getting some things tied up, getting X set up, getting a bunch of our token listings set up. Because again, I had to do things kind of on the DL to make sure it didn't get exposed in advance. Beautiful job, Aaron. The site is dope. Mechanics are perfect. We have ads on Deck Screener. This can pump insanely going wide. No, I mean, I didn't set up any ads yet. Again, this was a super stealth launch. There's only, I think, 3 people in total knew about this before the stream, right? So none of that stuff is set up yet, but that's what I'm going to jump into right after this AMA. Definitely start with the docs. Yep, guys, keep in mind, you can find how to buy blue by clicking buy blue on the site. The contract address for blue is right there, as well as you can click open PancakeSwap, which will open up PancakeSwap with the token already loaded for you. So the book blue LP will be earning yield from once it's set up, right? Yeah. So actually, let me talk a little bit about that. Good question. So I mean, I touched on this briefly, but I didn't really get into detail about how it works. Well, book blue LP is already set up, but what isn't set up yet is when we have rebases. Right now, a rebase would not impact that LP, but I can add that LP to the distributor contract, and with that, every time a rebase happens, the blue that's in that LP will actually earn the rebase, right? So essentially, you can have blue book LP and still gain from the rebases on the book side of that LP. I'll put more information about that in the docs. I don't think we have anything in the docs about that yet, but we probably need to add that just so it can be more clear for everybody. Would it be better for me to sell the book and buy blue? I mean, I think fresh capital is the way to go to get into blue. But book is when blue does well, it's going to bring book up right up with it, and a lot of the things that you are going to need to fully utilize the blue protocol are going to either directly or indirectly benefit book, or you're just going to straight up need book to participate. So for example, like the book blue LP, which will be required for future stuff in the protocol. Yep, some great advice there. Use fresh funds. Yeah, I mean, I know that there's a lot of excitement around blue, so I didn't really look at the charts right now, but yeah, it looks like book has dipped a little bit. I think some people are probably really excited to get into blue, so maybe some people have sold book to get into blue, but I think that's probably you really want to maintain all your exposure to book. They're both incredibly bullish, to be honest. But we don't have to pair blue with any other token to earn. We can just stake blue and earn. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of why I wanted to keep the site simple at first and not really get into too much of the advanced features. All you need to do is just buy blue and stake it. That's all you can do in the site right now. There's a lot more coming to it that's going to be super bullish for blue, super bullish for book, and super bullish for bud and the whole ecosystem. But yeah, for as of right now, all you do is you buy blue and you stake blue. And that's it. Fresh capital, everyone. Don't sell your book. Yeah, great advice. Lots to talk about on YouTube. Yes, sir. When blue price show in Rabby? I mean, we've already set up Deck Screener, so I think Rabby should integrate that pretty soon. I mean, that's a third-party thing, so we don't really have any control over that. But usually that happens pretty quick. Should we hold blue and also stake S blue, or turn all our blue into S blue and stake right now? Best play. Yeah, so there's no real benefit to holding blue. So really just buy your blue and stake it all, right? So like, yeah, I mean, like unless you're immediately like pairing your blue with book for the LP or stuff that's coming in the future, like blue that's in your wallet doesn't earn you anything. S blue does earn you something, and you can move them in between each other anytime with no penalty, right? So essentially, you want to always have your blue staked as S blue. Awesome job once again. Thanks, my man. The simplicity of staking with compounding dynamics is uber bullish. Yeah, I mean, I said it a couple times already, but I really think this is the right protocol at the right time. So I'm insanely bullish on this. Working to make it super simple and make it appeal to everybody. And let's just all book ourselves a huge win with blue and book. Perfect launch, bro. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Yes, timing is perfect. Well, you guys know what to do. Let's run this up to 10K. Let's run book up to a couple bucks. Let's all buy Lambos. Will there be pairing for blue bud? This is one that I was thinking about, but I don't. So the treasury, I want the treasury to have a diversified, group of assets, which also means multiple LP pairs. But I don't think we'll be doing a blue bud LP pair. So I think like the bud that the protocol has will all be like single token bud, which that special allocator contract can use to earn with book USD while still having that bud as a reserve asset. So, so our pairings are going to be book BNB, I'm getting confused. Blue BNB, blue book, and then also we're going to start to transition towards more stable coin pairings over time. So, something like we might go with blue USD1, right? Like because USD1 is just, it's maybe a cheat code to get some publicity, right? So we might go with USD1, or we might do another stable coin for that pairing. Because the other thing with bud is that PancakeSwap doesn't automatically route through bud. So, we want to give our users the most efficient swap experience possible. So, we kind of want any pairing to be a token that PancakeSwap already routes through and looks for routes through. So hope that answered your question. Bluey the whale. Let's all become whales after this protocol really takes off. And Aaron, we trust. Let's get it, guys. Aaron for president. You are the Blues Clues of DeFi. Well, let's paint BNB chain blue, guys. You know what to do. Let's spread the word. This is a huge opportunity. We're still at $10. It's 1,000x to $10,000 from here. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell them to pick up some book, tell them to pick up some blue, and let's all stake our way to success. All right, so I think I got a lot to do, so maybe we should call it there. I'll see if any other questions or comments roll in here right at the end, but.
And we will be available on Telegram for the rest of the night. So.
How likely is it to have pump book? Please answer. Let's book.fun. No. No, I mean, I think there's a lot of launch pads out there. I'm not really too interested in competing with the other launch pads. Or actually, I think he's asking about pumping book. I thought he was talking about like a launch pad for book. But yeah, no, I mean, there's basically the way that this is set up is that book has to do well when blue does well. So I mean, right now, a lot of guys are probably all in on book, and like maybe some guys are selling their book to get into blue. But there's no question that over the longer term, this is going to be insanely bullish for book. It has to be. It's built into the protocol. So thanks, Aaron, for the hard work. You bet. This is fun. Is there another Telegram or still Book? So Book Telegram's not going anywhere, but there is another one for Blue. So, and again, just kind of to touch on what I mentioned earlier is Book USD is centered around Book, right? So that's why Book USD like doesn't have its own Telegram. But Blue, people can jump and ape into Blue without really knowing what Book is, right? So it kind of is, it works on its own. It does have super deep integration, of course, with Book, but just because it is kind of, you know, able to operate on its own, it's going to have its own Telegram, its own X, and all that stuff. I want cat Book. Be patient. Book will rise like a rocket. Yeah, there's no question about it. The protocol is designed with this in mind. So the success of Blue, it will bring the success to Book without a doubt. I mean, just again, just because Book is seeing a little bit of sell pressure here, I'll just say like, just wait till the bonding gets released, guys. Like literally, the way to get discounted Blue is going to require Blue Book LP and roughly 75% of all inflows into buying those assets is going to put buy pressure on Book. So just think about that for a second, guys, before you sell any Book. How about Bus Token? Again, right? Like this is, we know what Book USD does when the price of Book is appreciating, right? So this protocol was designed to work hand in hand with Book. So, you know, Book price will appreciate with the success of Blue, and that's going to bring a lot of bullish things to Book and Book USD. And, you know, as soon as those loans start churning out some more fees, the price of Bus is gonna move accordingly. So I think it's a, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's a great buy right now, but I think Bus is also a great buy right now. It's all engineered to work together. Yeah, 100%. It's all been very deeply thought about and planned, and you know, it's been integrated in a way where, you know, it's not like one protocol supporting the other protocol. Like I don't like doing things like that. It's, you know, they just work hand in hand together it's a mutually beneficial relationship. A rising tide lifts all boats. Yes, sir. Looks like Blue is, oh yeah, Book saw a little bit of sell pressure there. Blue up at $11. All right, guys. Well, I got tons of stuff to do, so I'll give another 20, 30 seconds, see if any other questions or comments roll in, and then I'll get to it. You guys ready to see this up at 10,000? What's that look like? Just kidding. All right. Well, I think that's it. So again, I think definitely thoroughly check out the docs. I've put a lot of effort into making the docs thorough and explain everything. Again, if anything's missing from the docs, please let us know, and I will definitely want to update that too. You know, I think it's critical that somebody can just arrive at bluebnb.xyz and they just, everything that they need to want to ape and be able to ape is there. They don't need to join the Telegram to ask questions, right? I mean, we don't mind questions, but you know, I think the more self-explanatory it is, the better off it'll be. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for joining for the AMA. Once again, I hope you guys are as pumped about this as I am. I think it's absolutely incredible, and let's take over BNB chain and let's keep growing the ecosystem. So I'll see all you guys in the Book TG and in the Blue TG, and yeah, let's kill it, guys.
All right, guys.